Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting into a 3 looks 1 palette using the Oden'S and Angelica Nyqvist Hela palette. Oh, this palette. Oh, this look. Oh my god. I've been so excited to get into this 3 looks 1 palette. I have been doing more 2 looks 1 palettes over the last couple of months, but I had to do a 3 looks with this palette because I just have so many ideas and I really wanted to focus on this palette for a long time. So this is our first look. I'm in love. It's Grunge Dream, and you don't look at this necessarily and see super dark grungy alternative kind of style, but I do. So I've given my first impressions, swatches, all that kind of jazz, my first initial thoughts of this palette in my first impressions, which I'll have linked down below and probably up in the cards up there, so you can check that out. But I love this palette so far. I'm loving these shades. The shimmers are magical. You will see in the video to come and you will see in the first impressions. But I have 3 looks coming, very different looks. Gonna play with all aspects of the palette and I'm gonna try and get all the colors used. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've used 9 out of 16, so we're doing well so far just with 2 looks. So I'm planning on using everything else in the palette over the course of this video anyway. So I'm so excited. If you want to see any up close pictures of this look, my Instagram is linked down below, as well as my TikTok. I have done a TikTok for this one this time because I didn't do one for my first impressions because I didn't have time, but I did do a weird little TikTok for this, but the pictures will be up on my Instagram. So go follow those 2 down below, and also hit subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up and many more 2 looks on palettes, 3 looks on palettes, palette videos in general, and all that fun stuff. We're just going. We're going to get into it. Let's get into look number 1. Alright, we are going to get into the first look of the 3 looks using the Hela palette from Oden'S and Angelica Nyqvist. We're going to use that bottom row. I just threw on like a t-shirt because I kind of want to go a bit grungy today. We're going to use these 3 down here. I don't know if I'm going to use the multi-chrome, but we're definitely going to use these 3 down here, definitely. And I might use Underworld. I might do that weird murky blend that I did with the It's Freaking Bats palette as well. But yeah, I'm excited. That bottom row really calls to me. So I only have on my foundation tinted moisturizer. It's the Colourpop tinted moisturizer. I just popped that on. I have my brows on and I have my eyeshadow primer on. I don't know how much fallout I'm going to get, and they're very dark shades, so I just want to be able to clean it up as I need to. So I'll do my concealer and everything else afterwards. But we're going to get into this. Okay, so to kind of help it not be too murky, I'm going to start with Soot, which is the deepest shade. If I started with the greeny, what was it called, Underworld, this one up here, and then blended this into it, it would definitely go murky. Where if I start with this, it gives me the impact of this, makes that true to colour, and then I'm just blending the edges out with that. So that's why we're going to go in with Soot first. I'm taking this on a Makeup Geek defined crease brush. I know Makeup Geek are not going to be in business anymore. I have this brush years. I wish I got more, because I love this size brush, and I'm in the market for some smaller blending brushes. I know Blends Bunny do them. Maybe I'm thinking about getting some of their palettes, and also Beauty Bay have a few different blending brush sizes, so I'm gonna have a look at those. I do have one that I'm gonna use now, so that's just gonna go on the outer corner. This is gonna be quite a standard smoky eye. I might do a bit of a cut creasy action on the inner part, I'll see. But definitely mostly just a very dark smoky eye. That's what we're going for. I'm really liking the colour of this because it's like a dark aubergine. And we're definitely not going to blend this shade out too much because we'll be blending with the green anyway. So I know it's a weird colour combo, the purple and the green, but I loved how it turned out for the It's Freaking Bats palette. So kind of want to do it again. I was just going to use the pink, but that's a bit obvious for me anyway. It's quite obvious. So I just wanted to do something a little bit more odd. So I'm bringing this the whole way through the crease, just in case I do decide to do the cut crease. It'll give me the definition in here. And I'm literally like, it's like the worst application. So like no blend, no nothing, just getting the impact. So what I did for the It's Freaking Bats palette, the weird kind of blend in that, I took a clean brush. So I'm taking this. This is a Beauty Bay BB203 brush. It's a really nice blending brush, like a slightly bigger blending brush. And I'm just taking that to blend out the edges first before we start blending with the green. This will give me like less work. I won't have to blend as much when I'm going in with the green, so it means it'll be less likely to get too murky, but I do want a bit of murkiness in this look. I feel like it's such a bright colour story with that little bit of depth in it, that trying to get a nice grungy look out of it is really fun. That shade blends out so nice. It's quite a bruisey purple and I love it. Very nice. I've just slightly cleaned off that brush just to make sure there's no like excess purple left on it. And I'm going to take the shade Underworld, which is that very yellowy green. And purple or yellow are quite literally opposite colours. So with this being like a yellow green and this being quite a dark purple with a little bit of brown in it, I don't know how they're going to blend together, but we're just going to go for it because it worked for the It's Freaking Bats palette, so we're going to give this a try. And this will take some time to blend because they are so different colours. I'm just taking a little bit of the green at a time and just run that along the edge of the purple. But because we've already blended out the edge of the purple, we don't actually have to blend that as much. We're just trying to now kind of overlap the green with that. So I've got some sort of blend going and I'm actually really liking it. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the purple, like the tiniest amount, and just not re-intensify. I'm just kind of going around where that blend is just to really make sure they blend seamlessly together. But I'm loving it so far. The green really warmed it up, which is weird because green doesn't normally do that, but because it's such a yellowy green, it really warmed up the edges of that and just makes it look really bruisey. Not for everyone, but definitely for me. Okay, so just while I'm working on my matte shades, I'm just going to take a MAC 214, just a little flat, stubby, smudgy brush. We're going to take the shade Soot again, the dark purple. I've only got a little bit of fallout from this dark purple, so I'm quite impressed. I usually get more fallout when I do my lower lash line, but so far I've only got a little bit just here. I've got none on that side and I always get some on that side. So just running that across and just make sure it's as close to the lashes as possible. Just leaving a tiny little gap in here. I'm not too worried about if you can or can't see it. When I do my shimmers, I'll be adding some glitter primer down there anyway. But I'm not going to blend out the lower lash line now because I want to do that once the concealer's on so I can just blend away as much as I need to. Where if I do it now, once I put my concealer on, it'll kind of cut it off a little bit. I'll have to reblend anyway, so I might as well just wait. But I've got all my dark shades on now, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of create a sort of half cut crease with the glitter primer. This is just the NYX glitter primer. I always use glitter primer with all my shimmers anyway, so it's just the technique I prefer, and I prefer how shimmers go on with that. It's going to take a little bit on the lid, but I'm also going to take whatever's on the brush and just tap a tiny bit of it down here in that inner part. Just to make sure when I do put a shimmer down here, it really stands out. And you can actually see there how far up that's after going. So that's kind of how far up I want to go with my half cut crease. So it's basically like transferred up there, which is good because I always go slightly higher than where shimmers would naturally transfer on me, just so you can, one, see them, and two, I don't get any transfer because the shimmer's already there anyway. So just with what's on the brush with that glitter primer, just pop a bit of pressure down. Not too much, but just enough that you can start creating a nice sharp line. It's not going to be as obvious, obviously, as doing a like concealer or P2E's base or anything like that to do your cut crease. I'm going to do one eye at a time just so I have enough time to work with these sort of shades. So I want to start with the shade Complete, which is the dark metallic black, super sparkly. I think she said that she kind of sent feedback back on this one a couple of times to get it like perfect, because she still wants it to be dark but also super shiny. And on the brush it looks really dark as well. That is going to go on the outer half of that lid. Yeah, it's getting more fallout now with that shade. It is a black, to be fair, so it's very obvious when there is fallout. And then just tap over where it meets that matte, but we'll go back in and blend that line in a second. Okay, so now for the inner part in here along the cut crease, we're going to take River, which is this gorgeous like purple that reflects green, that reflects teal. It's so beautiful. And I think it'll go so well with the matte shades that I have in the crease as well. And that picked up amazingly on the brush. Look at that. Wow. Ooh. That is magical. Wow. So I'm kind of just following that along the edge of the cut crease. It's like glitter, but not glitter. And not as messy as glitter. It's still a bit messy, but it's not as messy as glitter. It's so sparkly. Because of the textures, they actually blend so easy together as well. I'm also taking a tiny bit of that same River shade, and that's what's going to go in here, because the purple base from that will blend nice into the dark purple we have going on here. But then it's so bright and sparkly that it'll really shine. So I'm going to take a tiny bit more of Soot, the really dark purple, and I'm just going to tap that over the edge of where that sparkly black meets, just to give us a nice blend here. I always find this really polishes off the blend on the eye. It really gives us that little bit of depth out here. It's not always necessary, but I just find when I don't do it, I notice it. So I always like to do it. Okay, I'm going to just quickly jump off. I'm going to tidy up my under eyes, get rid of any fallout or anything like that. We'll come back and I'll blend and we'll do an inner corner, and yeah, that'll be the look. Okay, I'm back. I did a little bit more skin than I actually planned on doing, but I might have to go back and tweak a little bit, but I just decided to start a little bit of the skin. So what I did was I put my bronzer on, I put a little bit of blush on, but I'll probably have to add a little bit more just for how dark the eyes are. And I did powders also. I put those on because they were creams and I want to put my powder on so I had a nice even area to blend around here. So yeah, we're going to blend the lower lash line. So I'm just going to take a 219 from MAC, just their little pencil brush. I'm going to take the shade Underworld again and we're going to start blowing out that lower lash line. So like what we did with the top, just overlap that over the edge and then just start going to town. And like the top, it might take a little bit longer than normal, but that's fine because they are such contrasting shades that is okay. And then make sure your blend connects out here so it all looks the same. And I'm also blending a little bit of that shimmer out as well, just so it doesn't just like stop randomly. And I can always add more of the shimmer back, and I'm going to probably add more of the dark purple in as well, just to make sure the blend is seamless. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of soot on my 214 and just re-intensify that, making sure that all the edges blend lovely together and that we're not losing any of that colour. Okay, we're all lovely and blended, super smoky, and I'm in love. So I'm going to take my what's going to be my face highlight. This is the KVD Beauty Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter in the shade Gold Skool. It was like the anniversary one, but it's basically just like a white that reflects really strong gold. And I think that'll go quite nice with that kind of tone that we have going on out here. And it's going to be on my cheeks as well, but I'm not going to do my cheeks just yet. I could use the multi-chrome that's in the palette, but it reflects a lot of orange as well, and I just don't want that in this look. I've already got a lot of colours and tones going on here, so I just want to keep with those yellowy sort of tones. I'm taking it on a small brush, and we're just going to pop this on the inner corner. You don't really see it too much. It'll only be really when it reflects the light, it'll reflect the gold. Okay, I'm going to jump off. I am going to finish off the face, add some like mascara, liner, all that kind of jazz, lashes. Finish your cheeks a little bit more, add a bit more blusher I think I need, and pop on a lip, and I'll be back to show you what I use. Okay guys, so this is how I finish off the look. Not the lip I thought I was going to go with, but the one I'm so happy I went with. So we're going to go through everything that I used on my face. Starting with the eyes, I didn't do any liner on my upper lash line because I didn't feel like it, so I just didn't. I went in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil though, in the shade Tornado, which is a really dark aubergine purple. It's a little bit more purple than what we have gone on out here, but I think it really amps up the purple, especially along the lower lash line, blended into the dark purple. It's beautiful. Then I went in with my MAC in Extreme Dimension Mascara on my top and my bottom lashes. For my lashes, I went in with good old Cash Beauty, the Crystal Nights lashes in the style Midnight. These ones in the middle. They're these ones here. They're a little bit longer on the outside, kind of spiky, and I kind of love them, and I think they're beautiful. But they don't cover up all the makeup that I have going on. Onto cheeks then, I used my cream bronzer. This is the Tantour from Huda Beauty in the shade Fair. It's a bronzer slash contour. It's more of a bronzer on me, and I just use that to bronze up my face. I also used then a cream blush, and I went in with the Inglot AMC cream blush in the shade 88, which is just a neutral, little bit rosy kind of colour, just because I didn't want to take away from the eyes, because obviously we've got a lot going on the eyes. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I went in with my KVD, what is it called? Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter in the shade Gold Skool. Very long. But yeah, the kind of white golds that I use in the inner corner, I use that on my cheeks as well. I'll put a lot of that on, by the way. Very glowy right now. And then for lip, I didn't do any lip liner or nothing like that. I went in with my, first time wearing this, my Black Moon Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Ashes, which is just a grey, and it is beautiful because as I was looking at the look, I was like, these are very cool tone shades on the lid with very kind of warm bruisey shades around the outside, so the kind of cheeks match the blend and the lip will match the actual lid, and I love that. I wasn't expecting, I was going to go really, really dark, then I was going to go I was actually going to go mustardy, kind of like what we have going on blending out here, but then I seen this, I put it on, and I was like, oh, I like it. So that is our first look. I love it. I think it is delicious, and I also think that this palette is delicious. So I think for definitely want to use the pinks. I do want to do a full pink focus look, and I also want to use some more of the greens, especially some of the neutral greens in the palette. I think that'll be beautiful. So we're going to do a few fun things. So let's see what we do for look number 2. Okay, so let's get into look number 2 using the Hela palette. I'm feeling green. Well, actually, I say green. I'm feeling this olive green here, but I'm kind of feeling this neutral brown, the shade Wolf. I kind of want to use this as well. I might use this really dark brown, the shade Decay. I also kind of want to use the pinks, hence my shirt that I have on me right now. So I might do the pinks on the bottom, like the lower lash line. I want to do quite a sharp wing, so I'm going to use like tape to give me a nice sort of wing shape. Probably do a wing liner. I really want to use the shade double-sided as well, if I can get a chance to fit it on my eyeballs. But yeah, that's the look we're going for. So I'm just priming my upper lid because that, if I do the lower, it's going to get ripped off with the tape anyway, so we're just not going to worry about that. So I've just taken a little bit of the sticky off, but not too much of the sticky off the back of my hand. And normally what I would do if I'm going to tape the outer part of my eye, I don't do it very often because I'm not mad on a super harsh line, but I have a reason for this one. I would actually do it where like my lower like lash line creases, so kind of where like further down than my lashes. Some people do it right up against their outer corner where they would do their wing. I don't like that because then I've nothing to connect my outer corner to. So what I'm going to do is actually do that now, because my lower lash is going to be a different shade and I want it to follow along the same color. So let me just, I'm going to line this up off camera. So something like that. I don't know if you can see the angle, but now I just have to get the other side to match. Okay, so to start this off, we're going to go with Wolf, which is that kind of almost like an ochre brown sort of shade. It's not really brown, it's quite yellow, has a little bit of orange in it. It's a really pretty like warm color that goes really well with the greens in this, where it could still be a bit neutral. I'm going to take that on a 221 from MAC, and we're going to pop that on the outer corner. This is going to be the main crease color, so we're going for kind of like a mustardy, olivey sort of effect, and kind of bringing that right from that tape, so that way it blends really nice from there. That's where the depth is the most, and then we can bring it through the crease. This deepens up really nicely. Like, it looks like it's quite light here, but then once I've built it up a little bit more, it goes really deep. I'm not worrying too much about blending out the edge because that's what that light yellow is going to be for. I just want to see how like light it is, if it kind of affects the depth of color. It will lighten it slightly, but I want to see if it goes any like ashy sort of tone on the eye, because it is like a pastel yellow. Okay, I'm loving that shade. Like, that's a shade I will use a lot. So now we're going to take Rebirth, which is that super pale pastel yellow. I'm taking that on a Spectrum B07 brush, which is just a big fluffy brush, and we're going to just take a dab of that at a time. Picks up a good bit on the brush, and we're just going to use that around the edges to blend that out. It'll add a bit of softness, a nice blend without taking that yellowy mustardy sort of tone away, and it's actually not paling it down too much, which sometimes happens when you blend with a super light shade. So I'm just also extending that out past the brow, kind of along where that tape is as well. So I'm just going in with a little bit more of Wolf and just re-intensifying that, just to make sure I didn't lose any depth. It's mostly depth, like I didn't lose any of the colour, it's just like the depth, making sure that's nice and strong in that crease. Okay, I do want to darken it up just a tiny bit on the outer corner because I like it a little bit deeper than this. I am going to use the shade Decay, which is that dark brown, and I'm just going to take this small little rounded brush, kind of like the 221, but you know, there's no name on it. So taking a little bit of Decay and just pop that to this outer part, again right up against that tape, so it keeps that lovely sharp edge going. I'm going to slightly run it through the crease, just with whatever's left on the brush, but that's kind of all. I don't want to bring any more in. I don't want to take away from the Wolf shade. Okay, so on to shimmers, I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer. It's very old, it's definitely on its way out. I only have probably a few more goes out of it. Well, I mean, depending on how much I use. So I'm just going to take that on a flat brush. Any little flat brush will do. I'm going to take a small little bit of that. We're just going to press that on the lid. I just knew as soon as I seen that like olivey green shimmer that I had to use it with these mattes, because it's like your neutral way to wear green, and I just think that's so beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to take Golden Bridge, which is this golden olivey green sort of shade. Using that same brush, there should be just a little bit left of the glitter primer on it, so it helps with any fallout. I just love this colour of green. Oh, I love a murky green. I love an emerald green. I love green. Green is probably my favourite colour. But I love this type of green. A limey, chartreuse, acid, painful green, as I like to call it. Then I just want to see how much more intense this goes. I'm going to take my finger. I always just like to see if it goes any more intense. Kinda, a little bit. Taking that brush that we use for the darker brown, the shade Decay, take a little bit more of Decay and we're going to pop that on the outer corner just to get a nice blend going out here so they fade seamlessly together. Okay, so now for the reveal. I'm going to take my tape off. We're going to just... Ooh, very satisfying, very sweaty under there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do my bit of skin. I want to have that done, my under eye concealer done before I start doing my lower lash line. And I'll come back in a sec. Okay, so we have got the skin on. I'm very happy with this. I'm using a new concealer today, which I'll have listed down below. It's the NYX... What is it called? The NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum, and I'm actually really liking it. I'm going to give it more tries, but it's the first time I've used it, and I really like how it looks so far. So I'm going to jump into the lower lash line. We're going to take the shade Goddess, which is the kind of brightest and deepest pink in the palette, this one here. I'm taking this on a really small little pointed brush like this. I got this brush on eBay. There's no name on it either. Yep, just a small little pointed brush. And that's going to go along the lower lash line. Get it as close as you can to the lashes. I'm bringing that up pretty much all the way across actually. So once I have that lined across here, the reason why I wanted this sharp line here is that I'm going to follow this out with the pink. I'm not blending them into each other, I'm actually following the line. So it should be the thickest right here and then taper off this way and start tapering in this way. I like mine quite thick though, so in here doesn't really matter, but it matters out here. You want this to just fade outwards. I'm not bringing it as far out as the green is. Okay, so now I'm taking a slightly bigger pencil brush. This is a number 10 brush from the Rose Gold collection from BH Cosmetics. Just a slightly bigger pencil brush. I'm going to take Hela, the lighter pink, and we're going to use that to smoke out this pink. I love the fact that there is like lighter kind of yellowy greens to blend out the greens, and then also like a brown to blend out the browns. The pink works to blend out the dark pink. It also would work to blend out Soot, which is that really dark like eggplant sort of shade. It's actually made it go more neon. Ooh, I like it. Okay, and then last little step for this look, I want to take the shade Double Sided. I've been dying to use this. This is the Multichrome, so it actually really reminds me of the Space Age Prophecy highlighter from Kaleidos. It's a similar kind of multichrome to that. So if you don't have that but want it but have this palette, you might be able to use that as your cheek highlight. It would look beautiful as a cheek highlight, but I'm not going to use it as a cheek highlight now. I want to use something else from Oden'S. But that is just going to go on this inner part in here, so it will reflect green. It reflects like orange, almost like a red or a pink that's there as well. I'm mostly, from the angle that I'm at the lights, I get a gold. Okay, so that is it. I am going to jump off. I am going to finish off the eyes, do some sort of wing liner to kind of go with the shape, and do my cheeks, do my lips, do all that kind of stuff, and I'll jump back and let you know what I used on my face. Alrighty guys, so this is how I have finished off the look. This is the look. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So let me show you what I used on my face. So for the eyes, I did do a wing liner to kind of help with that shape, and I also kind of put the liner right along the line where the pink and the green meets. So I used my Physicians Formula, the Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum in the shade Ultra Black, which is just black, and it's a brush tip liner, so it's a really nice one for getting a nice super soft wing. I like a kind of medium style wing, so nothing too crazy. Sometimes they do get a bit out of hand, but this one didn't, which I'm quite happy about. Then for the waterline, I want to just match the pink, so I had the perfect colour. This is the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Boots, which is just a bright pink, and it matches the darker pink so well. Then onto mascara. I'm onto a new mascara. This is the Soap and Glory Thick and Fast High Definition Mascara in Film Noir, which is just black. I think I've used this before, pretty sure I did, but I have like 3 of these, so I just wanted to kind of use these, and I wouldn't say it's like my favorite in the whole world, but it's a really nice mascara, so I don't mind using it when I've got like lashes on and everything like that. So yeah, I do really like it. And then as far as my lashes goes, I went in with the All Reliables, the House of Lashes Iconic Minis, which gives me a nice sort of winged shape but doesn't cover up that gorgeous green on the lid, but still gives a little bit of drama that you can see above the liner. That's the balance I wanted. Something dramatic enough above the liner, but not so dramatic that it takes away from the actual greens and the shades on the lid. Onto cheeks then, I went in with my Nabla Skin Bronzing Powder in the shade Ambra, which is the lightest shade that they do. I just bronzed up my skin a little little bit with that one. It's way more golden than say like my Tantour, my Benefit, Dallas, my, what's the other one, the Fenty. It's way more golden than Fenty, but I really like it when I want a little bit of warmth, which I think because the eyes are a little bit on the warmer side, I wanted that kind of colour. My blush then is one I haven't used in a while. This is the Sleek Blush by 3 in the shade Lace. It's 3 blushes though, so I used this one, which is Crochet. This one here, it's way softer on camera. In real life, this is like neon. This is like that colour there. Do you see that there? That's the kind of colour we're working with. So quite bright, but I used it very softly on the cheeks. And then as I said for my highlight, I wanted to use something from Oden'S. So this is the Sol Mon palette. And I used Sol, which is the pink one. Which I could probably get away with this as a blusher, but I kind of use it as a blush topper to give me a nice glow and highlight, because that blush that I used is matte. So I wanted a little bit extra glow. And then for lip, I knew I wanted a very nude lip and use like a very bright pink gloss to kind of give a nice pink wash across the lip, which I think I got in the end. So I went in with my MAC Plum lip liner, which is just a plummy brown, just to kind of line the lips, give me a little bit of definition. I then went in with my MAC lipstick in the shade Arrowhead, which is a super pale nude. If you have Myth from MAC, if you have Flesh Pot from MAC, if you have Viva Glam 2 if you're a little bit darker than me, if you have Creme de Nude, any of those will give you the same effect, because this is not the colour I was like looking for. I just needed that as a base. And then I went in with the MAC Cream Sheen Glass in the shade Loud and Lovely. I don't know if they still do this anymore, but any bright pink gloss that's a little bit sheer, that's what I used on top to give me this sort of effect. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the look turned out. I'm so happy I get to film again because it's been a while because of my voice. But yeah, I'm loving this look so far. Is this my favourite? Really like that, the first look I did so far. I don't know, you can let me know as we go. And I haven't even done the third look yet, so who knows? So yeah, that is our second look with the Hela palette from Oden'S and Angelica Nyqvist. So let's see what we do for look number 3. Okay, so let's get into look number 3 using the Hela palette. And as you can probably tell by my top, or well, it's actually a dress I have on, but I'm going to use the pinks. I want to do a full pink halo eye with a pop of green somewhere in the mix. Probably this green, I think. I might use that on the center, and then we might do the multi-chrome then on the inner corner again. But I definitely want to use the pinks, because the pinks, like when I looked back on the photos of the first look in this video, those pinks, or was it the first look or was it the second look? I can't remember. The one I did with the pink on the lower lash line, I think it was the second look. That was beautiful, and those pinks were so vibrant. So I want to dive into them for a whole look. So I have my skin done without powder. I just have my foundation on because I'm going to use cream products on my cheeks anyway. I have my brows on. I have my eyeshadow primer on, which is all listed down below. So let's get cracking. So we're going to do a classic halo eye, dark on the outer corners, or the outer corner and inner corner. And will I do a full halo? I don't know. No, I don't think I'm going to do a halo on the bottom. I think I'll just smoke out the pinks. So I'm going to take the shade Goddess, which is that really deep pink there. Well, bright pink, I would say. And I'm taking that on a new brush for me. This is the Beauty Bay BB204 brush. I kind of invested in some of their fluffy blending brushes because I have one of them already. I really like it, so I've invested in a couple more. So I'm just slowly building that colour up on the outer corner. It was this pink that was so beautiful. It was just so vibrant. It was almost like glowing in the pictures. Like so eye-catching as well. And then taking that same shade, and we're going to pop that just on the inner corner, just using the same brush. You can use a smaller brush if you want to, but that's going to go on that inner portion in there. And I'm leaving a gap in the middle of the crease, so that way when we do the halo, it's super rounded looking, and I'll just kind of blend through that with the lighter pink. I think if I remember correctly as well, I did get a bit of staining from this pink, so just a heads up, if your skin is as pale as mine or likes to absorb colour like mine does, you might get a bit of staining. I don't really mind it. I find after having a shower it usually goes away, or the next day it goes away, so that doesn't bother me. But if it bothers you, that's just something to keep in mind. But I mean, any colour stains me, so that could have just been me. Like yellow has stained me, which is not usually a colour that stains. So then while I'm at it with that colour, I'm just going to take also a Beauty Bay brush. This is the BB208, which is just like a super flat, thin brush like this. And I'm going to run that shade along my lower lashes the whole way across, making sure that it connects on the outer corner, most importantly. And you can bring it in as far as you want to. I like to bring mine in quite far anyway. Next then we're going to take Hela, which is the lighter pink. It looks a lot paler in this. It's actually a little bit darker than what it looks like there, but still quite a light pink. And I'm going to take that on a BB203 brush, which is the brush I already had. I actually got a second one because I really like it. It's really soft and really fluffy. But I'm going to take that now as a big fluffy brush and start fluffing out the edge all around these edges. They should blend seamlessly together because they're both pink. They're both the same kind of tone of pink. It's just one is lighter and one is darker. And then I'm just bringing a little bit of that through the crease, kind of rocking back and forward like that. And that'll give us a bit of definition on that inner part, or that center part of the crease, without actually taking a full line of dark color through there. I'm just blending out the inner corner here. You can bring it up as high as you want. I'm actually bringing it up quite high. Not necessarily intentionally, but I kind of like it. So yeah. And then if you need to just re-intensify that dark pink to make sure you still have a little bit of depth and the brightness going. So then working with the same Hela shade, I'm going to take a Real Techniques shading brush. So just like a smaller, flat, fluffy brush. And just gonna run that along the edge of the lower lash just to blend it out like we did the top. Blend it down as far as you want, connect it on the outer corner like always. Okay, I'm happy with this so far. I'm very excited. So now we're gonna add the pop in, and I'm gonna use my Too Faced Glitter Insurance just to stick the shimmer down, because I always use a glitter primer for my shimmers. So just taking a small bit of that on my finger and just pressing that down the center where we've left that nice gap. And then I'm going to take a BH Cosmetics Lavender Luxe number 9 brush, just their flat little brush like that. Any flat brush will do, or your finger will do, which I might use my finger as well. I sometimes do that too. I'm going to take Fluorescence, which is that shimmery light kind of green, almost like a chartreuse. So popping that just down the middle, and the pink and the green are going to contrast each other so nice. Now, if you were to blend a MAC green into this pink, you won't get a nice blend. With this being a shimmer and having a slightly icy sheen off it, it should blend quite well. Better than it would if it was a matte. But if you're unsure, just don't over blend your contrasting colours, because pink and green are opposite each other. Well, pink is basically a light red, or a version of red. So red is opposite green on the colour wheel. So technically they don't mix well together. They mix to make brown. Just taking a small bit on my finger, and I'm just going to press just to really get in there. And it should just kind of start to fade out the shimmer into the pink. I'm going to just go back in with my brush that I used for the dark pink with a tiny bit more of that pink, and just kind of press over the edge of the shimmers just to help them blend along. That is so bright and summery. Oh my god. I love how that looks. Okay, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I feel like pink lemonade, and I'm really, really happy. So now I'm going to work on my lower lash line, and I'm going to take just this small little brush I have from Kryolan. There's no name. Whatever little brush you have. I'm going to take double-sided, which is the duochrome. So kind of shifts from orange, green, kind of pinky. It's beautiful. So I want to pop that on the inner corner. I probably will in the future do something with this like as the main focus of the look, but at the minute it only really went in the inner corner for my looks. How pretty does that look on the inner corner though? Oh my god. Okay, that was quite a quick look, I have to say. I've literally been filming for like 20 minutes. So I'm going to jump off. I am going to finish off the eyes, finish off my face, and do a lip. I don't know what kind of lip I want. I'll have to decide on a lip. So I'm going to come back and I'll show you what I used on my face. Alrighty guys, so this is how I finish off the look. I am very happy about how this turned out, and I added a little bit of fun glitter. So we're going to get into that now in a sec. So for my liner, I didn't do any upper liner on my upper lash line. Because I don't usually do it when I do a proper like halo eye like this, a very rounded look. I think it just kind of goes against it. So on my waterline, I actually did a halo waterline instead of like a halo lower lash line. So I did Colourpop's cream gel liner in the shade Boots, which is a pink that matches the darker pink on this look very well. I popped that on the outer corner out here, and then on the inner part in here on the waterline just, and I left a gap in the middle. And then on that gap I went in with the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Chartreuse Flash, and I popped that in the center, and I think it's really fun because it matches the top. My mascara then is my Soap and Glory Thick and Fast High Definition Mascara. That's what I'm currently using right now, and I'm really enjoying it. And then for my lashes, a pair of lashes I haven't worn in a long time. These are the House of Lashes Smoky Muse. That's what the box looks like there. I don't know if it's an old box or whatever, but they're super, super dense right in the root, and they just really wisp off on the end with kind of singular bits right on the end, so they're super, super dramatic. For the glitter then on the outer corner, I kind of just picked and chose what like glitter out of this I wanted, because there's also like other like black glitters, orange, purple, like lightning bolts, all that kind of stuff, but I just wanted like iridescence and like pink and green to match the eyes. So this is the Apocalyptic Beauty glitter in the style Candy Gore. I ordered this last year at some point. This is my first time wearing it, but it's kind of got, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So it's kind of got like stars, lightning bolts, skull and crossbones, all different colors and iridescent stars as well, circle, glitters, all that kind of jazz in the look. And I think it goes really well, just something fun. And I just kind of picked out with tweezers like the kind of colors and the style that I wanted, but you'll see them more in the up close pictures on my Instagram. For my cheeks then, as my contour, I went in with my Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer in the shade Amber, which is more like a cream contour, and I used that to contour my face. More creams, I went in with my Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks, which is a cream blush, and I used the shade Pale Pink, which is not very pale at all. It's like that color there, not very pale, very strong, but I used a little bit of that on my cheeks. And then as my highlighter, because I've popped up recently there my bronzer and highlighter sort of collection, I want to get more into my liquids and creams a little bit more. So this is my Kiko Milano Metal Fusion highlighting drops in the shade Platinum Rose. So just did like 3 drops and then press them in with my finger. I didn't powder my cheek or anything like that. I wanted to keep it really nice and dewy. And then my lip, I just went with something very simple, very kind of natural in a way of like my lip color sort of shade, but a little bit warmer. This is the MAC lip pencil in shade Soar, which is just like a rosy brown. And then I went in with this lipstick from MAC. This is a newer one to my collection. This is the shade Sellout. So just a very natural color, and I use that on my lips. So that is the look complete with the Oden'S Hela palette with Angelica Nyqvist. This is the third and final look of the video, and I'm just so happy with this palette. I think it's such a fun, interesting colour story, some fun looks you can get out of this. You can mix and match or do very monochrome sort of looks with it, and I think I got a nice variety of looks out of it too. But it's definitely a really nice kind of spring going into summer but more springtime sort of vibe to the palette with a little bit of grunge just dusted in there, which is what I always like. So I want you to let me know which look is your favorite out of the bunch. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I really like this one. But then the dark kind of duochrome smoky eye with the grey lip, that grey lip made it, and oof, I really like that too. And then the green with the pop of pink underneath was really like magical in the photos as well. I don't know which one I'll pick. You pick for me. Pick one for me. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments which one you pick, and I will decide through your picks. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, to get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, so I will continue to do many more. And also hit subscribe down below to see more palettes coming up. We've got so many palettes coming up. We've got more first impressions, more 2 looks on palettes, and I'll throw in a 3 looks on palette when I feel like doing a third look in them, but mostly 2 looks on palettes for the time being. This was just a special video, so I really wanted to do it. We've got some try-ons, we've got some swatches, we've got more Lush videos, so hit subscribe to see all of that down below. And as I said in the beginning, my Instagram is linked down below, and you'll be able to see all the up-close eye pictures of this look, to see all the glitters in action, and up-close face, or full face pictures, not up close face pictures, full face pictures of the look to see the makeup in action. And my TikTok is down below where I do funny transitions. So I think that is everything, and I will see you in the next video, guys.